Honey, the sweet, viscid liquid extracted from flower nectar. This thick, gooey material is produced by one of the most important insects in the animal kingdom, the honeybee. Traditionally, these bees are harvested for their honey, whose great potential is estimated at 500,000 metric tons per year in Uganda. This potential is not fully harnessed, as the Ugandan Beekeepers Association estimates that only between 800 to 1,000 metric tons of honey is produced per year. In 2020, the global honey market size was valued at $9.2 billion and is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 8.2%. The major factor driving this market growth is, but not exclusive, the high demand of nutritious food products such as honey, an account of rising awareness about the benefits of maintaining healthy lifestyles. Tonight, we venture into apiary business. Coming up on Seeds of Gold.
And indeed, I've created the home of bees, because right now I have more than 40 hives right now, and I'm getting at least a reasonable amount of money through even value addition.
Beekeeping has been a lucrative business for years. In the early 2000s, NADS popularized beekeeping by giving hives to farmers, which increased the interest in apiary, especially in northern Uganda. One persistent farmer in Kiryandongo was initiated this way. From honey to wine, soap, Vaseline and polish. This is Alex Wambale's story.
I started beekeeping as a result of having interacted with my uncle, who was a beekeeper. They were given hives by an NGO called Save Lives Africa, and when I reached there, I found that those hives had already been not cared for. They were getting destroyed, rats had built in them, termites had started eating them, they were rotting. So when he told me the story, how they got them and the benefits of beekeeping, I picked interest. So I asked him if he could sell them to me. Then I bought them, I drove them up to here. By that time they were 40. Before even hanging them or bringing them to the apiary, they had already started colonizing. So that one gave me interest of making more. My first harvest was not much, being the fact that they don't all colonize at a go. I could harvest like 7 kilograms, 8 to 15 kilograms. So when NADS officials realized that I'm interested in the hives and I'm doing well, they added me more 10 KTB hives. Then as I started harvesting and getting money, I started adding on more hives until to date. Even today I've already brought one more hive. So I keep adding. And indeed I've created the home of bees, because right now I have more than 40 hives right now. And I'm getting at least a reasonable amount of money through even value addition.
Initial cost of investment can be daunting for new beekeepers. From hives to smokers to protective gear and foliage, these were Alex's costs.
After buying hives, I incurred also the cost of planting the trees. In the first place, I'd already bought land. The land was not intentionally for beekeeping, but the idea of beekeeping came in later. Then I designated an acre for hives for the start. Then you can see how I've demarcated. You can see how those trees are planted in line. So I demarcated that this will be part for keeping bees. The fact that it is a little bit away from people. I had stalls where I was putting those hives, but the termites could eat those stalls. So I started now looking for possible ways of making sure I maintained my hives. Then as the trees grew, I started hanging them in the trees. But still I'm finding a challenge of when trees also fatten or grows, they also squeeze them out. So now I have a hope that next time, next season, I'll be saving money to buy at least metallic rods to make stands for the hives. I've spent 5 million in doing everything. From the hives, planting trees, then including slashing, keeping maintaining them.
At this point, the question for many startups is, how do I start my own? Here is a step-by-step walkthrough setting up an apiary.
When you bring a hive like today, for us we do the baiting, we call it baiting. There is a way you make the hive to be attractive to the colony, to a swarm of bees to enter. When they feel the smell of that beeswax in the hive, they'll say, this is our home, we have ever been here, this is part of our... So they'll come easily. Even anywhere where you don't see bees are there which are foraging. So as they forage and they sense that smell, they will always go to that smell and find that is a home. So they will go to their hive and they communicate that information that there is a hive there. So if they already have reasons why they should leave this hive, or they are too many and they want to divide themselves, because those are also all part of the factors of absconding or colonizing or swarming. So one queen, the younger queen, will remain in the hive. They will, in other words, now they will groom a queen so that they can separate. So when the younger queen is ready to come out and there is a hive which has already been detected somewhere, then they will divide. They go with the old queen and go and enter that hive. So if they have entered, you don't have immediately to come and start checking immediately. At least you have to wait for 2 weeks. Rather 2 months. But what you have to do is you can move around, do just an inspection of seeing, are they still there? If they colonized and again left, then you should open it and see what should be the reason. Then you should not also enter them any time of the day, because they have time where they are more active, like from 11 up to 6, they are very active, at least in early morning and at night, or after dawn, 7, because now it is dark, you can enter, then you keep using a torch. Very early in the morning, they are still so dull, though they are going out, but they are not always aggressive, up to around 10. But from 11 up to 6, they are very busy, very active, and they are even here. They can easily come and... But now this one, because now they are also used to people, there's also one fact also. If you leave them too much in the bush, they will also behave wild, because they are not used to people. But now here, they know that people are there. Now you can open to see which stage. Is there now pollen or the brood, the younger ones? Because after the younger ones, they always put honey. So the 3rd, 4th month, now you can harvest, and you normally find even in the scent, in the apiary, sometimes you find them already out, because now the hive has become like squeezed, because honey is heavy and it has bulged. So honey is last, and they normally put honey towards the rainy season. Like now we are harvesting because rain is expected in March. So this is the harvest season. But for them, they are keeping it to get them through the rainy season. And that's the reason, like us professionals, you don't need to harvest all of the honey. You have to leave 2 to 3 combs of honey, so that one will maintain the bees in the hive. But if you remove everything, then it means you are going to starve them, or it will even lead to absconding, leaving the hive.
Still to come on Seeds of Gold.
When I harvest honey, I strain it, the combs, I make them into beeswax. Then from beeswax, I can make also other byproducts like soap, bathing soap, can make lotion for smearing on the body, and cream. Then I can also make shoe polish, can make wood polish, and I can also make honey wine.
It all begins in the field where worker honeybees suck nectar from flower blossoms. Return to the hive where it's broken down to produce the sweet, sticky yellowish-brown liquid, honey. Bees produce honey as part of a food storage for the wet season or when they are unable to collect nectar. It is therefore critical to maintain a sustainable environment to avoid losing your investment.
When you have interest in beekeeping and you want to start it as a business, you need to get a good location. That's why we discourage putting them in the courtyard. Children will throw stones on it and it will become aggressive and will attack anybody around or even the neighbors. I had put it also in my tree behind my house, but I realized that when we could harvest, they could move around and the people could be uncomfortable with them. Then I decided to set to bring all of them in one place for proper maintenance. The important item in the beekeeping project, you must have a hive. Later you plant for them the forage plants because they are major. They reduce in the loss of bees and in the amount of the yield. Because if they are foraging from a long distance, then the production will be low. Because the time they spend going to forage reduces on the amount of honey they are to make. Then you have to be aware of pests and predators. So you have to see a way how you can protect your hives from the predators, the pests, and the fire, especially like in a drought like this one. At least the neighbors also should be aware, and you must also be friendly to the neighbors to let them know what you are doing is also beneficial to them. It can pollinate their crops. It is food and medicinal. So you have to be friendly to them, and you even introduce the project to them. You need not to be selfish, so that they also become members. They also have at least hives, those who are able. You teach them what at least should be near the apiary. Like mine here, there is a borehole down there. I usually put a basin with the water around here. Then also you need training, not to scatter the combs anywhere. You can see, this is an apiary, but you can't see combs scattered everywhere because they will always look for their products. So if combs are near the home, they will come. And so I designed it, and now I got an interest in beekeeping. After starting to harvest and I saw how it brings in good money, then I decided to say this one will be a model farm, and I will make it a tourist attraction center for even people to come and see, and even university students to come and learn about bees, the behaviors of bees, and which type of bees we have here, how do they adapt to the different climate conditions. So I said I'll call even this place a home of bees.
For any venture to consistently grow, one must sustain, reinvest, and innovate. Luckily for Alex, honey is an excellent source of nutritional ingredients, cosmetic value, contains several medicinal properties, and can help improve metabolic activities. These are the properties Alex made applicable in his value addition chain.
Value addition, I joined ApiTrade Africa, and in ApiTrade Africa, I was linked to a white man from the US, and he visited me here. We moved around. We went to 5 districts. He is the CEO of B-Aid International. That is his organization, and his work deals in beekeeping, trainings, and all. So when he reached here, he encouraged me. He said, "I'm doing the best." He left me some hive tools. He left me some protective gears, and he told me how I can add value, even not only depending on honey alone. So he taught me that you can make even cream, you can make lotions, you can make the rest. So I got a chance of going for training. Then I was trained. Then I came back, then I went also to URI, Uganda Industrial Research Institute. I trained more from there. Then when I came, I started now doing the value addition. When I harvest honey, I strain it, the combs, I make them into beeswax. Then from beeswax, I can make also other byproducts like soap, bathing soap, can make lotion for smearing on the body, and cream. Then I can also make shoe polish, can make wood polish, and I can also make honey wine, mead. It is very interesting and people like it, and people already coming all over the place to come and enjoy honey wine.
Beekeeping is a rewarding venture, but while on this journey, it's recommended to avert the following challenges.
The main challenge, the major one here is the termites. They destroy our equipments, the hives. Then we have safari ants, which are so vulnerable, which destroys the hives, rather the yields, by eating the younger ones, the brood, and also the honey. When now hives have honey, you will always see red ants coming from nowhere. That's a major challenge. We try to look for a way of putting ash, oil, those kind of things, maybe hunting for their source, and see a way we can eradicate them, either burning them or destroying them by any means available at that time. And especially they normally come during the wet season. Then you have other predators like the alpine swift. These are birds which just move in the air, and when they are picking bees, they reduce also the number of bees, thus reducing the colony capacity to produce enough honey. Majorly, those are the major predators I've seen. Then we have some beetles also which disorganize them in the hive. Then we have the wax moth. That is a moth, a night butterfly, which normally enter the hive and produce from there. They become a nuisance to bees. Sometimes they lead to bees absconding, and they brew also in the wood. You find that the hive also is destroyed. They chase also the bees. So those are the major challenges here so far as beekeeping is concerned.
Now that you know where to start, what is the turnover?
The rate of return is good because the harvest, I can harvest even more than 5 million. Yeah, I can harvest 900 kgs, 700 kgs. I sell most of my honey locally here. I supply some customers in Kampala. As you have seen, I have a shop at the roadside. Many people come who are going to Kampala and other places, they branch and buy. Big quality honey, everyone tells another one, and people keep coming from different places. Even people whom I don't know, they come asking, is this the place I was directed to, that there is natural honey, good honey, which they don't dilute? I said, this is the place, and they continue also telling others. And the fact that I've planted for them also the plants which can help them to get nectar and pollen, now the yield I'm seeing it is increasing. Beekeeping, especially when you are considering buying the hives, is a one-time investment. You will buy it once, and you will gradually keep adding more and more from the harvests and depending on the yield of your hive. For example, if you have bought a hive minimum 100,000, the first harvest you may get 7 kilograms, and if you get 7 kilograms, it will depend on the colonization of that hive. If the swarm was big enough and active, because there is where it can be big but lazy, depending also on the environment where your hive is. Does it have enough forage plants where they get the nectar and pollen? So if it is in a conducive environment, and let's assume that you have got 7 kg from that hive in 3 to 4 months, it will mean that the minimum amount of price you can sell a kilo of honey is 8,000 to 10,000. So which means if you sell a kilo at 10,000, it means you have got 70,000, and you bought a hive at 100,000, which means the following season you will be able to recover your initial investment in that hive. Then the second year, third year, and fourth year, you'll just be in profits. That is now one hive. Now in case you have 10 or 20, it means you have that average of 7 kilograms, 3 kilograms, 5 kilograms, to 10 even, depending, as I said, the conducive environment for the beekeeping in that area or in your location.
In 2020, due to the global pandemic, the demand and supply for various products were significantly impacted. The demand for honey was raised substantially across the globe owing to its excellent medicinal properties. Beekeepers are trying hard to support the production and supply chain's pace as consumers worldwide are paying more attention to a healthy lifestyle and immunity enhancement. We call this the perfect opportunity on the go. Make it your target this year and we will surely see you at the reaping stage next month on Seeds of Gold.